Hi and welcome to Design School by WPAlgorithm.com. In this tutorial, I'll share 5 cool Elementor features that you probably didn't know about and that are quite powerful. Let's get started. The first cool feature is to extract colors from the websites that you visit online. So let's say you're on this website, you really like this and you want to apply this to your website. Currently, my website looks something like this with this color palette. So all you need to do is to take a screenshot. On Mac, it's Command-Shift-4 and you can drag over the area that you want to take a screenshot. Use a similar shortcut or just use the shortcut for Windows and take a screenshot. Once you take a screenshot, go to your WordPress dashboard or Elementor dashboard on templates and just add a new template. It can be a page template or a section template. I'm just going to call it dummy. Click on create template. Once the template is created, just click and drag image element into it. Click on choose image. Click on upload files. Select the file that you have taken. This is the screenshot that I've just taken. So just upload the screenshot. Don't worry, we'll delete this file once the color extraction is done. So I'll click on select. And once this is uploaded, just hit publish on this template. And now click on the hamburger menu, click on site settings and click on global colors. Now I'll click on primary and now you see a color picker right next to primary color. Click on this and just click on the image. Now you can make any of these colors your primary color. You can see the preview in real time. Now if you don't see this, just toggle this guided style preview off and it'll give access to your website. It must be something like this. Just toggle this off and you'll get access to the website. So I'll click on the color picker, click on color sampler, just click over the image, doesn't matter where you click. And let's make this blue color our primary color. Just like that, our color is updated. Let's click on the secondary color, click on the color sampler, click anywhere on the image, and I'll use this pink as my secondary color. I'll click on the accent, click on the color sampler, and I'll use this orange color as my accent color. Let's add another color. You can also click on add color and call it custom color 1. Click on this, do the same, and now you can choose the last color. You can change or use text colors from this, but I'll leave the text untouched and I'll just hit update. Just like that, we've loaded the color from a third-party website to our website. You can turn this on, hit on update, close this theme styles interface. Now you can go to any of the templates in Elementor and just pick your global styles. So I can click on style, click on the section background and maybe pick primary, or you can pick any of the colors you want. You can pick accent. I think accent looks better. You can do the same with footer. Go to footer. I think this color looks better for the footer. Just like that, we've applied our custom colors to our footer. Now that we are done with this image, you can actually delete it from your media library on WordPress, and you can also delete this whole section. Again, this is just a dummy template, so it doesn't matter. So it's that easy extracting global colors from websites you visit online. Of course, you can use color.adobe.com. You can drag the screenshot into adobe.color.com. Just select extract theme and just upload the image. It'll also pick the colors for you. But again, this is a more native solution. But if you want an easier one, just upload the screenshot. Just copy these and just paste them into your global colors. Just paste these hex codes into your global colors. Even that way you're done. Let's move on to the second cool feature in Elementor. The second cool feature is that when you're editing any page or Elementor template, you can click on the navigator at the bottom left corner. You can expand all the elements, and let's say you want to copy multiple elements. Let's say you just want to copy all these and change this in another section. You can hold down Command on Mac and click the elements you want to copy all at once. So I'll click on the heading first, hold down Command and keep clicking the elements that I want to copy. Now release Command key, right click on it and just hit copy. Now go to the section where you want to paste this, even in the navigator. Click on the section, right click on the section and just hit paste. And just like that, we've copied multiple elements using the navigator into another section. The third cool feature is to define fonts and colors in Elementor and use them in Gutenberg. So if you go to Elementor, click on settings and under general, make sure you check these two boxes and click on save changes. Once you do that, when you go to your global theme styles and define fonts and colors using the global settings. So if you click on typography, I already have them defined. So for H2, I've defined a color, which is my secondary color. And I've also defined some of the properties. These will also be applied to the elements in Gutenberg or wherever across your website. So let me just show you. We'll quickly click on add new. We'll write a post using Gutenberg. So let's call it Guten testing post. Hit enter. Let's add some headings in here. This is H2. Now I'll right click on this and duplicate it 5 times and we'll change each of the tags. For demonstration, let's change this to H2. I'll click on this heading, change this to H3, click on this one, change it to H4. Remember, we have defined the properties using Elementor and now we're writing the post using Gutenberg. I'll click on H6. So I've given some text for first heading, second heading and so on. Publish the post, and if you view the post, it has the features that we've defined in our global typography. So if you go to the typography, remember this is the color. So let me just change the color for you and show it to you quickly. I'll change this to accent. Now if you refresh the post, just like that, it's reflected in here. So even though we wrote the post using Gutenberg, it's getting all the properties from our Elementor global styles. So that's what these two checkboxes do. So don't forget to click on save changes and purge all the cache if needed. The third cool feature is to change the default properties of widgets or elements. So let's say I drag in a heading element. Of course, it gets our global styles defined in our global styles menu. So it gets the color, font size and all that. What if you wanted to have a default heading tag and a default alignment such as this one, and maybe just have like text stroke or something, maybe around 0.5 pixels, something like that. What if you wanted to make this element your default element? Well, you can quite comfortably do that. You can right click on the widget or element, and down here you have something called save as default. Right click on this and click on save as default. It will show you this option. Click on save. Now what happens is that whenever you drag any heading widget into any element, template or a page, these will be the default properties. So even if I delete that right now, whenever I drag in a heading widget, those properties are applied by default, and even the HTML tag is applied by default. So we made changes to our default heading widget. Now, if you want to reset it, you have to do it manually. There's no automatic way to do it. So you have to go to all the styles, clear them off, and then click on right click and then save as default. That's the only way to reset it. So you can do that with any widget. Let's say you want this to be your default image. You can right click on it and click on save as default, and this will be the default image whenever a new image is dragged. So whenever you drag an image element, you get that image. Of course, you can change it using the typical values, pick on select, but you get the thing, right? So you can define your default widgets or elements using this feature. Really cool feature. The final cool feature is to add hover effects without writing CSS. So if I click on this section, click on advanced. This is a container. Sorry about that. Scroll all the way down. You see something called transform. So here you can choose the normal state of the element. So if you choose rotate, you can rotate your element for some reason like that. But usually these are good for hover effects. So I'll click on the hover tab and we'll click on rotate, or I'll click on scale actually, and just scale this a bit. You can also choose to keep proportions or just use random scaling. It's always a good idea to scale the proportions. See what's happening when I'm hovering over this section. It's scaling a bit. Now it's all of a sudden and it's no transition. So we'll add a transition duration of 1 second or maybe another 100 milliseconds. Or let's increase that till it's very subtle. I think that is very subtle right now. You can also change the value from here, maybe around 1.15 or something like that. Very subtle animation, just like that. So hover based animations, it's really cool. Now if you want to change the cursor on hover, click on layout and just give it a prefix. I'll start with DA. DA stands for my website, digital algorithm, and I'll call it section cursor. I'll copy this class name, dot, paste the class, use the property of cursor, and you can use something like help. So when you hover over this, even the cursor is changed. You can just type a letter to see all the available elements for the cursor. And just like that, when I hover over it, you can see the cursor changing to whatever you want. So that's a little cool trick that can be used along with the hover animations. If you want to check the cursor properties, just Google cursor CSS property and there'll be a ton of them. Just type a letter and something like that. Just pick any of the properties that you want. You can also do weight. So you have the spinning wheel and you have like that. So it's totally up to you. You can just give it a class name and use this snippet of code. I'll try to leave this code in the description down below. And you have to add the class name here. So it's DA-section-cursor. That's the class name I gave. You can also just call it DA-cursor and it should still work. You have to change that in the code as well. So it should be something like this. Just like that, it works, right? So that's a tutorial covering all the cool features in Elementor. Stay tuned for more, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.